Bing bang pow. Pack with kapow. Absolutely. Absolutely. Good evening, good evening, good evening, everybody.
Good evening.
Welcome back. It is definitely another Tuesday. And of course it's the round table time. Um I wanted to definitely welcome each and every one of you to the Roundtable Talk Show. I'm your host, of course, Christopher Jones, and tonight I'm coming straight down the middle with this one. So, strap in. um, we definitely want to talk about this evening
Awesome.
what protection um ain't and what it is. And I could tell
This is
you
kind
right
of a
now,
feeling.
huh?
I'm
Oh,
sorry, go
okay.
ahead.
I could tell you right now that what they are calling protection is definitely not protection at all. So I do want you all to know this Tuesday that the protection that they claim is not in the laws that's on the books. Trust and believe that. It ain't in flags that half mast. Trust that. Um, and it damn sure ain't white men in suits telling us who deserves to live and who gets left behind or left to bleed. Um, Tonight we draw a very, very hard line between what they call protection and what protection really is. Because the way they moved after Charlie Kirk was assassinated, or Charlie Kirk's assassination, I guess, question mark. Um, that wasn't grief, you all, and that I want you all to know that that was 100% propaganda. They lowered the flag at half mast for a man who helped promote lies, division, and domestic terrorism, while not saying a damn word for the children who were also shot the very same day. No word for those families. Um, but they stampeded the media, they stampeded our community, our social medias with a disgrace to um, political violence. Nobody said anything about Negroes or Black people or African Americans who had to face political violence. So ask yourself, why would the shooter, a MAGA sympathizer at that, take out one of their own, unless that martyr was worth more dead than alive. I'm just saying. Um, unless that man was getting too close to the truth, especially like the Epstein files or the Epstein client list. That was definitely one of Charlie Kirk's songs that he was singing prior to his demise, as well as one of the questions that he was responding to was about violence and, gun violence in schools or gun violence, period. And his response was, do you mean, you know, in gangs or and then pow. Um, so I definitely want us to understand that just like he said, my empathy is not there. My sympathy is not there. I prayed about it. I searched all week to find it and it ain't showed up yet. What we're not here for, though, is the cover ups. We're here to tear the veil completely off. Um, then we're going to take on Texas, where over 800 new laws just hit the books, and most folks haven't read a single one. And that's not y'all fault. completely. Um, but I definitely need you all to have some sense of responsibility of the laws that govern you. So, you know, this is not about a culture war, especially here in the state of Texas. They're about writing you out completely from your own government. And finally, we're coming back home to Beaumont. The $264 million bond is definitely being served back at the table because there's some things, again, we need to peel back. We definitely want to peel this onion and either cry from embarrassment or joy. So that's where we're at. And whether you vote yes or no on this bond, you better vote smart. I want you to understand. So, because this thing has layers, just like I said, and if we don't peel it back, we'll be stuck paying for them whenever, whenever never arrives. Tonight, we pull the receipts, we show you what protection really looks like, and we bring this fire to the very segment. So, um, that we're going to start, and it's going to leak into every segment that we have. So, as you know, I'm never at this table alone. I do have some heat bringers with me. One of them is Dr. Catherine Campbell. Can you say hey this evening, Queen?
Good evening, everybody.
Absolutely. That's the sister who sees through the distraction and speaks directly to the core. Perry Busby may be tipping in. He is in transition. He's moving or moved and trying to get settled. But he is our watchdog who traces the power and exposes the backdoor deals. Dustin Harris, my battle buddy, say hello to the people.
What it is, what it ain't. What up?
He is the numbers man, or like I like to call it, the common sense man who breaks it all the way down so nobody leaves confused, especially when it comes to infrastructure, oversight, and economic trapdoors. Um, of course, like I said, we're definitely gonna hop into this national topic, y'all. Segment one, our title for this particular segment is The Kirk Kill, Sacrifice, Silenced, or Set Up. Subtitle is Flags, Diversions, and the Hypocrisy of Political Mourning. They said Charlie Kirk was a patriot, a cultural warrior, a voice for the MAGA base. Then he was gone, shot and killed, and in less than 24 hours, flags were flying at half mast. Mind you, Charlie Kirk is not a service member to you Americans at all. Charlie Kirk was not an elected official at all. But like I said, flags were flying at half mast, headlines crying, people ranting and raving on their own social medias about um, an open racist. You asked me, and then like I said, that's just me. I follow what the enemy says, and that's what the enemy was saying, that he had no empathy, sympathy, or respect for a people, especially a community of people that I belong to. And so this man was publicly demanding the Epstein client list at first, right? And he had already made enemies within the same circles he once hyped. And so, what if this wasn't a rogue shooter, right? What if Charlie Kirk was sacrificed to protect bigger names? I mean, names too powerful for us to touch or for us to even understand. And while the country mourned him, real children were murdered on the same day, and not gay, not and they didn't get nothing. And I mean like nothing. No flags, no press cycle, no reverence, no prayers, no nothing, no nothing. I'm assuming that it's been so many school shootings till we're numb to it now, right? So let's be clear, protection ain't about the people, it's about property, power, and privilege. And when one of their own becomes a threat to the same rhetoric that they're spewing, they make an example out of him. You feel me? All right. So let's get to our power shots. Dr. Campbell, you ready for your shot?
Always.
Let's get it. Why was the flag lowered for Charlie Kirk, but not for innocent children murdered the same day? What does that reveal about America's values?
It
That
showed
was a
that
two-part question.
I got
I'm
it,
sorry, go
but
ahead.
I'm answered in one.
Okay.
It showed that political power, not human life, often dictates who's honored, which is very
Mm,
sad. It says that the lowering of the flag for Charlie Kirk, but not for murdered children, revealed a warped value system that elevates influence over innocence.
hmm.
Just terrible.
Horrible.
Hmm. It
Horrible.
was sweet and tightly wrapped.
Yep. Dustin, you ready for your shot?
Yeah, if I have to talk about him.
What does the public silence on one who killed Kirk, and uh why tell us about political violence in 2025? Who's directing the narrative?
Same people who've been directing the narrative from the get go. It's the same people who've been pushing the propaganda since what Obama left office. It's the same game plan, same bull crap. And so y'all never gonna find out who actually shot him until probably about 20, 30 years later, just like they did everybody else. Because the person they arrest is never the person who actually pulled the trigger. You
Exactly.
can you can look up MLK, you can look up JFK. Hell, I don't even think they got Lincoln's person correct.
Exactly.
So it's just like American history. If there's a person with a shooter, because there's too many details that's wrong, and there's too much alteration done to it. Because I just don't know how a guy gets from a roof, jumps off a roof with a gun that you can't break down like that, then reassembles the gun, leaves it in the woods, and then runs another direction after he changed clothes for the second time. It it makes no sense to me, but somebody's gonna believe the story, just like they believe that old man that they dragged out of there when it first happened had something to do with it. Even though you can see that old man the entire time of the thing, but
Exactly.
somehow he got a gun, fired the gun, and then no longer had the gun. I don't know how that works, but it's the same foolishness that's been going on forever, and it's going to continue. Why he died, I could care less. Who killed him? Still don't care. Is tomorrow Wednesday? Absolutely.
I agree. My bowels didn't stop moving and I didn't go through no stress about it. Our flashpoint chat, this is for you all. So if you are in tune with us this evening, we have a question for you. I'll definitely be posting it in our YouTube on our YouTube stream. So if you are viewing and watching, um, this is one of the questions that we definitely have for the chat, and that is Charlie Kirk's death a political turning point or a power play diversion? Drop a one in the chat for sacrificed, or drop a number two in the chat for setup. All right, let us know what you think. Was he sacrificed? Drop the number one. Or if he was set up, you believe he was set up. Either way it goes, it's a sacrifice. Drop a number two. Know your rights. All citizens, every citizen, I don't care what your background is, I don't care what your age is, all citizens can FOIA the FBI. That is a freedom of information. You could also do the same with the Secret Service and Department of Homeland Security. Demand transparency. Ask them. Even in political killings, you could ask them for their information that's open to the public, not the current things that they're investigating, or not the details that they're investigating, which then will probably render you a completely redacted copy of what's going on. And that's okay, long as you get something, right? And then file it again, maybe 30 or 90 days later, to see what new information has come about. So, yes, that's something that I definitely want you to know. Please take advantage of that. Um, and like, even in your FOIA, you could ask, why was Charlie Kirk, and the name had been awkward all like forever for dude. So like, um I want to know why he was taking on Air Force Two. I want to know. I want to know why they say he about to last state. Again, I'm gonna tell y'all, this man is not an elected official. I want to know why he gonna have a statue at the White House or in DC. Period. I mean, like those things. That's just the things I want to know,
or a service
right?
person.
Yeah, he wasn't a service person. He was not in, he did not join any branch of the United States military. He was not an elected official. He wasn't even a precinct chair. How about that?
Mm.
He
So
wasn't even a college graduate.
I was about to, man, I don't think he was anything of service to people. And I was just about to say, I don't know if he graduated. They say he went to school, but not everybody go to college graduate, so it's not a bad thing. But I don't think I don't know. I don't know. And then like his wife comes out with this cockamamie story that she had. Anyway, roundtable question: if the government protects predators and sacrifices pawns to preserve power, or um, I'm sorry, I'm having a medical emergency outside, and it's not me. Um, but if the federal government protects predators and sacrifices pawns to preserve power, what should protection look like in our communities, and who decides? Dr. Campbell, you have the floor.
Protection should be local, preventative, and humane. It should be community led safety that focuses on prevention and healing, not just punishment. That looks like mutual aid, trained unarmed responders, social service investments, and restorative justice.
Mm,
Decisions should be made democratically by residents working with the neighborhood councils, community boards, nonprofits, and accountable local officials, with supervisors and marginalized voices at the table, and transparent oversight. Short, practical, and accountable. That's what protection looks like.
absolutely. Absolutely. Dustin, you have the floor.
This country will always protect the pedophiles, the criminals, white collar, or whatever collar you want to call it that people supposedly have. Because if they didn't, then they would be arresting their brothers and sisters and uncles and fathers and all that. So it just it's a sad reality of what it is, that this is what they do. You just gotta protect your kids and be ready to serve some jail time just in case.
Hmm. Mhm.
And you
Um,
know what? Let's we digress. The alleged shooter was a 4.0
mm,
graduate.
Oh yeah, they finna
Okay,
lie on his
he wa-
name like it ain't nothing else.
huh?
They about to lie on his name like it's no tomorrow.
Right, right. But the thing is, they keep saying it's the degenerates of society that's doing these types of things, but when actually it's white on white, you don't see all that on HBCU campuses.
People
exactly.
just tired.
And
That's what they ain't realizing. People
I mean,
tired
People are
like,
of it.
what?
People are tired. And
Hmm.
they thought it was gonna be us that got tired first.
Exactly. That's the
But
point.
but we are well conditioned folks.
mm,
We ain't the
yeah,
ones you gonna
Exactly.
have a
And we're
problem with.
resilient to the
yeah,
bull.
It's the ones look just like you gonna have a problem with first.
right. Well, I mean, like, like Dr. Campbell said, you know, we didn't have any issues or any play into this death of the alleged martyr, white supremacist martyr, or whatever. I mean, like, because again, um, I was able to listen to him to see the angle of my ops. That's it. And so, um, after he was murdered, y'all know several HBCUs got bomb threats. Um,
By
many
dying on
HBCUs. Yeah, I want to say about if not eight, nine for sure. Where they received bomb threats and were on lockdown, or bomb threats and had to evacuate particular wings of their campus. And so, um, protection for me, knowing that we as, Black people, African Americans, Negroes, indigenous folks, we know that there is, some aggression when it comes to uh, us not being engaged. Like Dustin said, they thought we were gonna get tied first, and no, we're just not engaged. We're not engaged. I mean, like, in so many levels, we're not engaged. So, for my YNs and my Divine Nine, um, my OGs, even, what a freak were y'all when our historical institutions were being threatened. Mind you, these are our direct future. You understand that? These are our future lawyers, doctors, engineers, scientists across the entire board. And we didn't show up to protect them, or at least give them some sense of security. So when we expect certain things to come into our community, realize that we must fester that type of mindset. We must want our individuals that are in these HBCUs, and maybe even predominantly white institutions, to come back home and give us the insight that they have. But they can't do that, and or won't do that, if they don't feel that they're protected in those particular spaces. Again, protection starts where the system stops. If they can lower flags for a propagandist and ignore Black Death, then we don't owe this system our trust at all. Protection means we train, we teach, we document. It means we defend our elders, we defend our children, we defend our streets, not just physically, but mentally and spiritually. And if someone becomes a threat to their secrets, we better believe they'll be removed, because we see what happened with Charlie Kirk. We see what happened as Dr. King started to expose their hand. We saw what happened to Malcolm as they exposed as he was exposing their hand. We saw what happened to Fred Hampton as he was exposing their hand. And again, these are the same type of individuals that Charlie Kirk was. Only difference, these individuals were power speakers. These individuals were truth tellers. These individuals were Negroes connecting dots in Negro communities. And they could not have that. So we built our own codes, our own networks, our own truth telling platforms because silence, y'all, that's the real killer. Let's move to segment 2. Of course, we're touching here in the state of Texas. We're gonna dig in this like it's trying to take, like, yeah, like it's trying to take our life, gouge the eyes out if we could. Because 800 laws later, who's left standing in Texas? That's the title for this particular segment. Subtitle is Home Rule Erased, Power Centralized, Communities Unprotected. Texas just passed over 800 new laws, but ask 10 people. I guarantee you could ask 10 people what's in them, and 9 will say, I don't know. I didn't even know they passed no laws. I don't know. I don't read that, Chris. I don't know. But don't feel bad, like I said in the intro. That's all by design. That's the plan. They want you to be disconnected. They want you to not know the liberties and laws that you have to fight against the tyrant. These laws weren't written for clarity, they weren't designed for control. Some strip cities of their powers to regulate health, housing, and local elections. Others limit how much um, say you have over your environment, over your property, and even over your courts. I remember maybe two or three shows ago, Dustin told us your courts, go target the courts, vote them out. Well, they coming for them because Dustin told them we coming for them. So they're trying to finagle the ways that they could keep their power even in the courts. And don't let them distract you with talk of drag shows and wokeism because or weed, because that's not the conversation. That's not it at all. They've been patting our backs for the longest, telling us marijuana will be on the ballot. And we ain't missed an election yet, waiting for weed to be on the ballot. And it ain't there yet. The real moves are happening underneath though, in silence, right? They're riding black cities, rural towns, and activist communities out of their own governance. This ain't just an attack on identity. This is a total grab for centralized rule. And they want it all in Austin. Trust me when I tell you. Let's get these shots. Dustin, you ready for your shot?
Yeah, let me pull my notes.
Go ahead. So Dustin's shot is which of these new laws cut directly into how cities like Beaumont can govern themselves, and what's the financial fallout? Take your shot.
Me personally, it's a lot of bills and laws got passed, but I'm focused on a couple because they directly impact education. So,
Hmm.
Bill 2, school choice. We all know that crock of crap that we gonna give people the choice to go to private school or whatever, blah blah blah. Cool, you giving rich people some more money so they ain't got to pay for school. Cool, nice rebate. Anywho, that's gonna drain public school eventually anyway. So, Bill 10 requiring the display of the 10 commandments in every public elementary and secondary school. That is very disrespectful to other religions. I don't know if people check, but unlike what a lot of people think, America is not a Christian country. It is not. it is a very diverse religious country. So the best y'all can wrap that up, get that around your heads, do what you will with it.
Yeah.
And Senate Bill 13, increasing the parental oversight of school libraries by requiring parent-led advisory councils and giving school boards final authority to approve, retain, or remove materials.
Mm.
Okay, cool. Let's play this game. We all went to school with a bunch of people, and we all know that half of our graduating class was probably idiots. So, do these the people you want actually controlling whatever end up getting taught to your kids? Absolutely not. Just like I don't want Linda McMahon in charge of god doggone education for the United States, even though she done took about 100 chair shots to her skull in her WWE days. That does not qualify her to be over education. And because you don't like a book that you probably didn't read, that don't mean you should be able to tell them not to have it in the library and for the kids not to learn what it's about. Your feelings and education has nothing to do with each other. It really don't.
Mm. Mm. Dr. Campbell, you ready for your shot?
Indeed.
Awesome. How do these laws quietly punish activism, local governance, and public participation without saying it outright?
Oh, no. So some of these are going to be, I think this must be like prevalent because Dustin and I are hitting on the same points. Here's
Mm-hmm.
some of the ways that recent Texas laws as of September 2025 subtly suppress activism, local governance, and public participation without always saying so. How they punish quietly. Number one, by limiting school activism. Laws bar schools from officially supporting political protests or granting excused absences for student activism, advocacy, or attempts to influence policy. This discourages students from participating in civic engagement during school hours. You used to get extra credit for that, but now it's barred.
Mm.
Number two, censorship and control in libraries and curricula. School mandates I'm sorry, bills mandate that school districts remove books labeled indecent, profane, or sexually explicit, give boards veto power over library purchases, and ban programs or guidances related to gender identity, sexual orientation, etc. This narrows what public institutions can discuss or provide, chilling expressions and diversity of ideas.
Mm-hmm.
Number three, state override of local decisions. Some laws reduce local government's power to make decisions or policies that differ from state priorities. For instance, requirements that local policies must align with state law or that state appointed bodies oversee and investigate institutions or universities to ensure compliance. Number four, enhanced penalties and enforcement risk. Laws amplify
Mm.
penalties in areas with potential for protest or activism, like misuse of official information or election fraud related offenses. Higher risk of legal consequences can intimidate individuals and individuals and organizations from speaking out and participating. Number five, financial pressure on dissenting localities. Some bills threaten to cut funding, restrict tax revenue, or enlighten litigation if cities enact policies that state leaders view as overstepping. That forces local governments to self censor or avoid unpopular but locally desired policies.
Hmm.
Um, what this reveals about the state values a preference for uniformity and control over plurality, less tolerance for dissenting or alternative views, especially at local or grassroots levels, prioritizing state power over local autonomy. An emphasis on maintaining existing hierarchies, who gets to decide who speaks, rather than opening up democratic participation.
I agree. Y'all
Mm.
brought it today. Y'all brought it tonight. Flashpoint, chat, you ready? Now it's y'all turn. Question: have you ever read or have you read any of the 800 New Laws of Texas? Type one for yes or two for no in the chat. Have you read any of the laws? Any of the new laws? Type one for yes or two for no in the chat.
Heck, you don't even
Know
have to
your
read them no
rights.
more. There's a
Go ahead.
YouTube page that'll read them for you.
Facts. Facts. And if if you savvy with AI will break it down to you and tell you how it affects you to your address.
Or if you got
Just
a
saying
Chromebook, you can just press the read button and it'll read everything on your screen.
that that it does. That it does. There's even an app where you could place your phone on top of the words of the pages and it'll read the pages for you. So like there's all kinds of ways. We'll definitely have to probably reach out to some of our, you know, tech savvy individuals to help us bring that information over to those that are less tech savvy.
If you got a
So yeah.
Android, you can just ask Gemini. I'm pretty sure Gemini has no problem reading it for you.
Right. Now Siri might take you to the website, but
She got a
that
little
thing, she
attitude on her.
lazy.
She
Yeah,
got
I
an
was about to
attitude.
say she lazy. She don't like to work. Know your rights. City charters still matter. Our city charter is our home rule. It still matters. Demand legal reviews from our city attorney before any new laws get passed. Figure out legally how do these laws affect us and our liberties as citizens or as humans. Okay. Um, roundtable question: if the state of Texas is writing people out of their own governance, what can we do right now, legally, politically, and locally to stop the bleeding and regain control? Dr. Campbell, you have the floor.
Legally, we challenge overreaches in court and
Hmm.
uh, file public records requests to keep state actions visible.
Hmm.
Use our FOIA,
Use the
freedom of
for you.
information. Yes. Politically, we organize voter drives, um, back local candidates who resist preemption and flood hearings with testimony. Locally, we build coalitions, neighborhood groups, churches, unions, nonprofits that share resources, run people powered initiatives, and practice mutual aid to reduce state leverage. Together, visibility, turnout, and solidarity push power back to the people.
Hmm. Yep. Yep. Dustin, you have the floor.
Like I always say, it's time to play the game from the ground up.
Mm-hmm.
Get that city council looking how you want it. Get that mayor looking how you want it. That city manager looking how you want it. And go
Mm-hmm.
on up from there. Get these representatives looking how you want it. And keep on moving from there.
Mm-hmm.
Because they might have rigged the vote for the
Yeah.
top level. The bottom still look the same. That's the part they failed to realize.
And
It's the
power
power
starts
back
at
down
home.
to the people. Hmm.
Yep. Power starts at home, especially with the orange orangutan telling us, oh, it's the state's power, the state's rights, and this, that, and everything. So just want y'all to be aware. That's why we got this roundtable talk. And again, I definitely want to let y'all know to my co-host, man, y'all bringing the heat tonight. Um, we build from the inside and outside, not inside out. We build from the inside and outside, right? Because we've identified the strengths and weaknesses in those that we gonna have on our team, right? And so we pressure city attorneys to challenge what conflicts with the city charter. Again, we pressure the city attorney, the city manager, and the mayor to challenge what conflicts with our city charter, right? Every city charter in the state of Texas is not the same. Every home rule, municipal home rule, township home rule, town home rule, it is not the same. Go find out what your home rule says and make sure that your city attorney or your county attorney or your district attorney understands the laws that are being imposed and the laws that you trying to keep on the books as liberties that you have. Understand that we educate our neighbors, we show up to city council like it's a courtroom, and we start grooming our own leaders. I heard somebody a minute ago or a second ago say, you know, coach new leaders, coach new ones, endorse new candidates, whether they look like you or not, especially if their struggle is the same with yours. Endorse that candidate. Not just voting for party lines. Again, we've seen dissent on both sides of the bird. And being that we here at the round table consider ourselves to be the bird, not the wings, we're going to pluck our feathers. We pluck our feathers. We hop on the ground for a little while, and then eventually our feathers will grow back. It's okay. But we're going to be the bird. We be damned if we're going to be guided by our wings and we the bird. Yeah. But putting folks in who know how to fight, policy with policy, not rhetoric with rhetoric. We need somebody that ain't powerless like we aren't powerless, right? Somebody that don't feel, oh, my hands are tied because I don't really know what all is in this space. But we are uniform. We must be uniform. And in this game, that's the same as being erased if we are not uniform. And if we are, then guess what? Our ops become null and void, they become erased. And that's one of the issues that we are having with the white supremacist movement, even the white Christian nationalist movement. They're finding out that they are becoming less and less in number, as well as less and less in ears of people that's listening to the rhetoric that they spew into our communities. Segment three. This is our local segment. The title for this particular segment is Layers of the Bond. Can this actually work for us? Question mark. Subtitle is $264 million on the table. But what's really in it for the people? What's in it for the people? Okay, so that's what we're gonna break down. They say this bond is about progress, but progress for who? Okay, $264 million bundled into propositions that make it hard to tell what's what. And as I went through our community this past week and this week up till probably yesterday evening, asking people, some of these questions, as well as getting some clarity from, officials. Yeah, getting some clarity from some officials. I will say, um, some things we need, right? Street repairs, drainage, park upgrades. But other items like the police headquarters, the animal shelter, and fire stations feel like they were dropped into this bond to confuse folks or sweeten the deals, right? Especially for those that know you're insufficient. We just gave the fire department. I'll let somebody else speak on that. But here's the twist, y'all. The biggest line items are happening in South Park, South End, and the North End, and maybe even the avenues. Maybe even Pearl Orchard get a little bit, right? Um, the very areas that usually get nothing. And last week we heard, Miss Cat say, "Oh, at least we getting something. At least we getting something." And so, like, I definitely wanted us to understand the something that we are getting. And so, I want us to go into this bond process, knowing what we have as far as leverage in our hands. So, the question ain't just yes or no. Are you voting for it? It's what leverage do we have as voters before we say yes? Because if the thing passes without a timeline, without a contractor list, without a community hiring plan, we'll be right back where we started, just in deeper shit or debt. Let me say, power shots. This is my favorite. I promise this be like my favorite section of the show. Um, Dr. Campbell, you ready for your shot?
Yes.
If the
But first, you know
bond,
what? But first, I'd like to
okay,
say I didn't actually say at least we getting something. I said the general consensus
the
is
consensus.
at least we getting something.
Right, right. Thanks for that correction, Queen.
Mm-hmm.
She done pulled up another side, so she gonna do a double side. Dr. Campbell, if the bond heavily favors the South End, North End, and West End investments, why isn't the city clearly naming the benefits and timeline to these voters?
Double shot, straight, no chaser.
Can I
Because
get
when
some
a
salt on the
bond,
rim?
I'm sorry,
Can I get some salt on the rim?
absolutely. Tahine. Because when a bond proposal leans heavily towards certain ends of town, the city often frames it in broad terms like infrastructure, revitalization, or quality of life, instead of spelling out who gets what when. That vagueness serves two purposes. Number one, avoiding accountability. Without a clear project list and timeline, leaders can reshuffle priorities later and still claim that the bond was fulfilled. So you need to once again make sure you get the street addresses, and the names of the streets or whatever. Well, let's just say the
The
full
block.
address,
Right.
right? So that you can know exactly where that money is going and how long it's going to take and who's going to be working on it.
Mm-hmm.
Number two, selling unity over specifics. They don't want to risk losing support from voters in neighborhoods that see little to no benefit. A general pitch makes it sound like everyone is going to win, even if the details show uneven investment. Beaumont keeps the bond vague to dodge accountability and sell unity, naming no timelines or benefits so voters can't see who really wins. And that's the investors. We talked about that last week.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I mean, I'm tipsy. Dustin, you ready for your shot?
Straight to the head, huh?
Indeed, indeed.
What mechanisms can residents use to force project schedules and oversight before a single dollar is spent?
Vote no on everything. Easy peasy, lemon squeezy. Because if you vote no on all of it, because they're not going to let this bond just go away. So vote no and demand that they individually list everything and have it individually voted or at least grouped where it makes sense. Park stuff with park stuff, emergency units with emergency people, infrastructure with infrastructure, stuff like that. Just simply do
Which
it
is the
that way.
people's right.
Exactly. But y'all want to have y'all little committees and y'all want to duck and tuck things under things you know the people want with something that they don't want. That way they can be like, well, we got something out of the deal. Screw getting something out of the deal. I want what I want out the deal. So
And
say
in a properly led governance that the people should run the government, where we live, we should know the details.
yeah. So say no. Demand that they lay everything out and try it again. Because this first attempt sucks. I don't care how many thousands you pay to somebody to make these little ads that pop up on my phone when I'm trying to scroll through social media. Do it right. Break it down. Single. Matter of fact, have everything on the bond single vote. My one vote go for one thing. Don't try to jumble it up. Nah. You want this sidewalk? Let that be one vote. You want this street? Let that be another vote. And just keep doing that for everything on there. We ain't got nothing to do during the midterm election anyway. So put as much stuff on the ballot as possible.
With addresses.
Put a name on it, put an address on it, put everything on it. Stop the bull. Stop hiding. Ain't no ducking behind. Look, it's a booth. You want people to vote? Give them something to vote for.
I agree. I agree. I agree. Especially if you want to increase your voter base or your voter engagement. Because you got enough registered voters, they're just not engaged. And that's one of the things that I was, trying to relay about the $98,000 that we spent again to the same people. You could have spent $98,000 in the community. You could have, went to certain neighborhoods or neighborhood associations or in groups and organizations, civic groups and organizations, um, created street teams, gave, incentivized uh, collaborative efforts at the city where you go and you hit these few blocks, you knock on these few doors, just to inform, not to make people vote for or get people to vote against, but hey, I need you to look at this. Hey, can you register? Just like I said about the survey, you should have went door to door about a citywide bond and the survey. But you just decided to we're going to just share the link on our website knowing that over half of the senior population in the city of Beaumont is not going to check your website. Those are not the same people that normally vote, although the number looked the same. But those aren't the same people that normally vote. Again, you shared it on social media. You didn't go to people's door. You didn't invite them directly to participate not only in the survey, but to participate in the decisions of what the bond should look like. So I totally agree. Flashpoint. Chat, y'all ready? This is the question I have for you. And you could type this one out. Are you planning to vote yes, no, or undecided on the bond? Drop your answer and why. Are you planning on voting yes, no, or undecided on this particular bond? And in the chat, drop your answer why. So, know your rights is having a request or making a request of a detailed project map and timeline of every proposition. Every proposition. If you want to build the police department, if you want to build a new police department, you got to tell me when you're going to start and when it's going to be done. If you want a new athletic complex or new baseball fields or whatever the case may be, tell me when you're going to start and when you're going to finish. Other than that, no, no. Because if you start in you know if you start in March, you're gonna get rained out over 60% of the project. If you start in October, you'll get rained out at least 40% of the time for the project. So make sense. Give the people what they need in order to vote yes for something that you feel that they need. Again, how many individuals, how many of us participated in the survey? Did you put a one in the chat if you participated in the survey? Put a one in the chat if somebody brought you to go participate in the survey, or did somebody approach you to participate in the survey directly, not through social media or news media? How many individuals directly approached you to participate in this bond? Again, request a detailed project map and timeline of every proposition. Demand equity reports and community hiring standards. Because if they're not working, uh, the the project and live here, then our money going somewhere else. It's bad enough the contractor 9 times out of 10 ain't gonna be from Beaumont. I'm just saying. And if they are, they we still ain't gonna see the money. We ain't gonna see it as the citizens. As the city, there, all they gonna do is just go put that in their nice little beach house. Roundtable question. Roundtable question. If the bond could actually bring resources to long neglected neighborhoods, what do we as a community need to do, especially before and after voting, to make sure the people don't get played this time or get played again? Dr. Campbell, you have the floor.
It's a good question.
Thank you. I try.
Before voting, the community needs to demand specifics in writing. Project lists, dollar amounts, and timelines locked into the bond language, not just press releases. After voting, neighbors must stay organized and watch the money, tracking
Mhm.
contracts, holding public meetings, and pressing council when promises start slipping. In short, secure commitments before the vote, enforce transparency after the vote.
I was reading comments in the chat. You want to ask that question, Miss Cat?
Which question?
That you put in the private chat.
Oh, okay. I just want to know, why didn't we not get notice of where to purchase the municipal bonds so that we as the public, as the community, can have the opportunity to profit as well.
Mm.
Because
So
they
you're
don't
trying
want
to
you to
figure.
profit. That's why. They don't want you to.
So she's trying to figure out how to trade or invest in this bond.
To do that, that would mean you would be making money. They don't want you to make money. They want you to pay these taxes so they can make money.
That
But
was Miss Campbell's question.
we as citizens should be able to, I mean, because we're a part of the community,
Oh, we
we should
should
be
be
able to
alive.
purchase, we should be able to purchase these same municipal bonds.
Yeah,
Yeah, we
yeah,
should.
And at different increments, not just at one particular increment. We could do it at different increments.
I agree. I
Yeah,
agree.
that makes sense. The problem is, it makes sense.
So, Miss Cat, I think one of the people we should reach out to find out that answer is the CFO, right?
In my Arsenio Hall voice.
Yeah. Things that make you go, hmm.
Hmm.
I just definitely want to say before I answer this roundtable question, thank you to our platform host Tony Renfro and the Knowledge is Power podcast live family for allowing us back into your space. I definitely want to thank y'all for tuning in on this evening. But let me respond to this question by saying if you vote yes, don't disappear. If you vote yes on this bond, do not disappear. Demand a project rollout. Demand contractor transparency. That's I don't care where they from. Kubla Kha. I want your address from Kubla Kha. I want it. Um, Demand that folks from the same neighborhoods be the ones uh building the police department, since y'all want to dump people on their head or dump people on their neck without consequences and or repercussions in this city, since you want to rush in on people's homes in their privacy and claim that you were the one that would threaten and have 18-year-old individuals facing felony charges because you almost got whooped, or charging individuals with hellacious charges, and then once they get to the courts, the evidence that they had was never to be found or never was there in the first place. So is this trumped up charges that we're facing by our police department? And then we have, the fire department and the EMS. That's all one department. We go into blackouts when it comes to our EMS services. I saw earlier before we hopped on here that the city of Beaumont had approved something for the fire, EMS, and police department. And it almost looked like you were circumventing the bond with the approvals that you made.
Oh, you talking about that increase for the fire department and police department, that tax increase?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
Yes.
yeah, yeah. For them
Yes,
new
sir.
cars and But I guess what
Right,
they gonna say
right.
is no, that's for the vehicles, but we still need the building.
Hmm.
And I'm still trying to figure out why we need the building.
I don't know.
Because we ain't housing prisoners.
Maybe they
You
want to
got,
start again.
you
And they say
had,
they're
and
understaffed.
I was about to
Extremely.
say, you have for years had the sign out on College Street saying that you're hiring. You for years have had, and that's fire and EMS and police department. All three departments are understaffed. That's the only way we go into blackout in EMS is because we're understaffed. That's the only reason why sometimes the fire truck, not the fire engine, shows up to your house before the engine shows up to your house. I'm just letting you know. The reason why you're seeing these things is because there are men and women who are in these particular departments. They're busting tail trying to do it by themselves. You cannot run Beaumont's police department with the amount of police officers that you currently have. And there's no need for you to have a bolstering workforce when you got Big Brother eye in the sky solving crimes. Make that make sense. Now, if you want to tell us that you're going to do a server and collect data, tell us that. If you want to collect our faces, tell us that. But don't tell us that you want a brand new police station and a brand new fire station with EMS state of the art this and state of the art that. But you ain't done right by the people. And then on top of that, most of y'all don't even live out here.
Sure don't.
I mean, if you're going to be a service for us, if you are going to be of service for us, at least reside around us. You can put your house wherever you at on Airbnb or rent it out. You could stay in an apartment here. They're giving you an incentive to stay in Beaumont. Take that incentive and let it pay your apartment for crying out loud. But no, that's the thing. And if you vote no, this is what I want you to do. If you vote no on this bond, and I'm talking about no all the way down, and you have to go to the poll. You can't say on your porch, I'm voting yes, and don't go to the poll. You can't say I'm voting no on your porch and don't go to the poll. You have to show up. It's people already that's like, I ain't even going. Well, let me tell you that your ain't even going is a yes for somebody that's going and voting yes. I want you to know it. And or your I ain't even going is a no voting for some things that you know damn well you need. So you have to juggle it on both sides. Juggle it on both sides. Again, and if you vote no, make it known why you vote no. Tell your elected officials, hey, this is why I'm voting no. One, you pushing it down my throat. You making me eat this bond. And then you have the community believing if the bond don't pass, then we're not gonna be able to do anything on these particular items for X amount of years. Make that make sense? Why would you put it on a bond if you know it ain't gonna pass? So is that what you trying to do? Push this can or kick this can down the river? Kick this can down the river a little bit more because eventually we're going to be kicking shit right along with this can. Force the city to come back with guarantees, not vague promises. We got options, but only if we show up and speak up. This is not about just money. It's 100% about making sure history don't repeat itself again on a bond measure or a
They're
proposition.
they're
Go ahead,
also
Dr. Campbell.
trying to goad you into voting for it by telling you if you don't vote for it now, then it's going to be 3 more years before they can do quote unquote infrastructure fixes, which it frightens a lot of people because a lot of people have poop in their house at the holiday time or every time it rains. So they're telling
Correct.
you if you don't vote for it this time, it's going to be 3 years before they can do it again. But even right now, you can still press them or pressure them into telling you the addresses where they're going to be working.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So I really definitely had fun on this evening. Dr. Campbell, give us something to close us out for the rest of the week.
When the state tries to shrink our voice, true protection is neighbors standing together, law in one hand, love in the other, demanding clarity like the Marines. So promises turn into real power for our communities. If we don't demand clarity, we trade our power for promises. And if you don't know, the Bereans are in Acts 17 and 11 in your basic instructions before leaving Earth, your Bible, that is. It says, "Let us examine everything carefully, holding leaders to their word, so our neighbors, not our neighborhoods, are not left behind again."
Mm, absolutely. Dustin, give us something for the rest of the week.
Let me see if I can pull this up. All right. Word of the day is beliefs. Beliefs. Something that is accepted, considered to be true, or held as an opinion, something believed, an individual's religion or political beliefs, especially. So let's discuss. It is your belief, be it political, religion, or whatever. You have a belief. That is all. The belief does not control how other people feel. The belief does not control how other people act.
Yes.
Your belief is yours and yours alone. You
Hmm.
can't force nobody else to believe it. You can't beat somebody else into believing it. Because trust me, several has tried throughout history and it really don't work. It may work for the few, but the many it don't work for. So take your beliefs, take them upon yourself and your people, and keep them there because they ain't gonna spread around to other people unless they want to believe in the same thing you want to believe. Because at the end of the day, again, it is your opinion. It's not a fact. It's not concrete. It's your opinion of things.
Hmm.
Do with that what you will.
Man,
Examine everything carefully.
I was about to say, ain't they hit with the scripture?
Yes. Acts
Man, Miss Cat,
17 and
you gotta stay
11.
out my mind, man. I was like, man, that just hit the scripture that Miss Cat just read. Man. Before I give my spiel, I definitely want to look up in this chat and see who all was with us on this evening. Pastor Kennedy Andrews, it is a pleasure to bring you rightful information, my good friend and big brother. And we appreciate you, the accolades that you've given. We'll continue to try to do a great job by bringing information, well-rounded conversation on issues that plague our community. And so, um, again, for all other listeners and watchers and viewers, I thank you all for tuning in. Tonight, we showed you what protection really looks like, right? And it's not a flag, it's not a badge, not a speech from a podium. Protection is strategy, 100% strategy. Protection is truth telling. Protection is holding power accountable, whether it's in the White House, the State House, or City Hall. We mourn our own, we defend our own neighborhoods, we prepare our youth, and we make damn sure that the next time they try to sacrifice one of us, we're ready, especially our future at HBCUs. Again, y'all, stay bold, stay woke, stay armed with truth, and stay dangerous to the lies. Stay protected for real. And as always, stay prayed up, stay prayed up, stay prayed up. Thank y'all for watching. God bless. Good night.
You guys still there?
Yeah, I'm
It
here, big
said
bro.
don't exit until the thing is recorded. So are you done? I'm just trying to follow the instructions.
Oh my goodness. What'd you say, Miss Cat? I'm just being obedient to the instructions. It say don't go nowhere.
Until the
until
recording is uploaded.
yeah, until you exit us out or something.
Yeah,
I don't know. Did he fall back out?
I think so, Tony.
I'm right here. I'm sorry. I didn't know your show was over. I stepped away, and so but I'm back. So anyway, guys, thank you so much, and I hope you guys had a great show, and I'll
We
see you next
did,
week. How
brother.
about that? Hey, you guys, I'm
Absolutely.
not used to y'all at 100 at an hour and 15 minutes. That's good, pretty good.
Check on Perry.
What happened to
I
him?
will. He missing tonight.
Uh, okay, round table talk show.
Episode 28. We coming up on 30 pretty soon, man. I'm excited about it.
I hear you. Hey, join us next Sunday on Knowledge's Power Podcast at 7 p.m. We're going to have a great show. So, you guys did. God bless.